Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting with a focus on a very specific and often misunderstood piece: the 1961 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. This coin has sparked a lot of interest and curiosity, especially when it comes to its value and whether it could be worth millions of dollars. If you're a coin enthusiast, a collector, or just curious about rare coins and their market value, this video is for you. Let's explore everything you need to know about this coin, from its history and rarity to its true current worth in the market. First, let's talk a little about the coin itself. The Jefferson nickel, introduced in 1938, features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. The 1961 nickel is particularly interesting because it was minted during a time when most coins carried a mint mark indicating where they were produced, typically AD for Denver or no mark for Philadelphia. Now, the 1961 nickel from Philadelphia is notable for having no mint mark, which is standard for that location during that period. However, some collectors mistakenly think that the absence of a mint mark makes the coin rare or highly valuable. It does not. Philadelphia did not use mint marks on nickels from 1938 until 1964. So the 1961 no-mint mark nickel is actually very common. There are stories floating around online and in collector circles claiming that the 1961 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is worth millions of dollars. These rumors often stem from confusion with other rare coins or from forged listings designed to attract attention. The truth is, this coin is not rare in the strict sense because millions were minted and circulated. So, where does the myth come from? Some people believe that if a coin looks perfect, or has some kind of anomaly, it could be worth a fortune. While there are rare errors and varieties in coins that can significantly increase their value, the standard 1961 no-mint mark nickel is not one of them. Now, what is the current market value of the 1961 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel? In circulated condition, these nickels are typically worth their face value, 5 cents. However, if you happen to have one in uncirculated or mint condition, the value can be a bit higher. Uncirculated 1961 nickels can sell for anywhere from $1 to $5 depending on the quality and the grading by professional services. Proof coins or special varieties can command higher prices but still nothing close to the millions some rumors suggest. If you are curious about grading, coins that receive high grades such as MS65 or higher might fetch up to around $20 to $50 from collectors. But again, these are niche cases. For collectors, the value often lies in rare errors, varieties, or special issues. The 1961 Jefferson nickel does have a few minor error varieties, such as double dies or die cracks, but these are not commonly found and generally only add modest premiums to the coin's value. It's important to get coins authenticated and graded by reputable services if you believe you have something unusual. But for the average 1961 no-mint mark nickel, the market value remains modest. To sum it up, the 1961 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is a fascinating coin because it represents an era in American coinage and carries a rich history. However, it is not rare, and it is not worth millions of dollars. In most cases, it's worth only a few cents to a few dollars depending on its condition. If you're starting out as a coin collector, this nickel is a great piece to have in your collection, but don't expect to strike it rich with it. Always do your research, consult with experts, and rely on verified information when buying or selling coins. 1987 D-Mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. We'll explore what makes this coin unique, what its current market value is, and whether it's really worth millions of dollars like some rumors suggest. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or just curious about rare coins, stick around because this one is quite intriguing. First off, let's talk about the coin itself. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1938, featuring the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, on the reverse. The 1987 D nickel is a relatively modern coin, minted at the Denver Mint, which is indicated by the D mint mark. Unlike older nickels that might have errors or rare mint marks, The 1987 D Monticello nickel isn't traditionally classified as rare or highly valuable in the standard collector's market. It was minted in large quantities, so at first glance, it doesn't seem like a coin that could fetch a huge price. Now, here's where things get interesting. Over the years, there have been some rumors floating around the coin collecting community and even on various online platforms suggesting that certain 1987 D nickels might be worth a fortune, sometimes even millions of dollars. These rumors often stem from misconceptions or misunderstandings about coin grading, mint errors, or specific varieties that could dramatically increase a coin's value. While some coins from the Jefferson nickel series can be valuable if they have rare errors or are in exceptional condition, the standard 1987 D Monticello nickel generally isn't among them. To understand why, let's quickly go over what influences a coin's market value. A coin's worth is usually determined by a combination of its rarity, demand, condition, and any unique characteristics such as minting errors or historical significance. For the 1987 D nickel, there are no widely recognized errors or rare varieties that have been certified to dramatically increase its value. Most coins from this year and mint mark are still worth just their face value or slightly more to collectors when in uncirculated or proof condition. So, what is the current market value of this coin? As of today, a circulated 1987 D Jefferson nickel is worth just 5 cents, its face value. However, uncirculated or mint condition coins might be worth between 10 cents and a few dollars depending on their grade. For example, coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC that receive high grades in the 60s or above could fetch around $2 to $5. If you have a special proof version or one with a verified error or unique variety, the value could be higher but nowhere near the $1 million range. So, where do these $1 million claims come from? Most often, they are marketing tactics or misunderstandings from sellers trying to hype the coin to boost sales. Sometimes, these claims mix up the 1987 D nickel with much rarer coins from different years or with actual errors like doubled dies or misstrikes that have legitimate high value. It's important to be cautious and do your research before believing such high price tags. Always consult reliable sources or professional grading services before deciding on the worth of any coin. To wrap it up, the 1987 D mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is a neat coin with some collector interest, but it is not a hidden treasure worth millions. If you find one in your pocket or collection, enjoy it as a piece of American history, and if it's in exceptional condition, it might be worth a few dollars, but don't expect to strike it rich. If you're interested in rare nickels or other valuable coins, focus on those with well-documented errors or limited mintage years. 1989 D mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. This coin has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike because of its intriguing history and potential market value. So, what makes this particular nickel so special, and could it really be worth $1 million? Let's find out. First, a little background. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1938. The reverse design, featuring Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's iconic Virginia home, is a beloved image among coin enthusiasts. The 1989 issue from the Denver Mint, the D mint mark on the coin, is one of the later Jefferson nickels in circulation before changes in composition and design began appearing in the 2000s. Unlike some older nickels, the 1989 D Jefferson nickel isn't traditionally rare. Millions were minted, and many were used in everyday transactions. However, as with many coins, certain specific varieties, errors, or exceptional conditions can make a particular specimen significantly more valuable. So, why are collectors interested in the 1989 D Monticello Jefferson nickel? The key reasons come down to condition, rarity in certain error varieties, and collector demand. The coin's grade is crucial. Circulated examples are generally worth face value or slightly more. However, coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially those graded by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can command much higher prices. A perfect, flawless example in mint state 70 condition is extremely rare and highly sought after. Some 1989 D nickels have known errors or unusual features, like doubled dies, off-center strikes, or variations in the mint mark. These errors are far less common and can dramatically increase a coin's worth. The Jefferson nickel series is a classic, and many collectors aim to complete sets with perfect condition coins. The 1989 D nickel represents a key piece for some collectors focusing on late 20th century mintages. So, what is the current market value of a 1989 D mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel? Here's what you need to know. For most circulated examples, the coin is worth just a few cents above face value, typically between 10 to 20 cents depending on condition. Uncirculated coins graded MS60 to MS65 generally sell in the $1 to $5 range. High-end uncirculated coins graded MS66 or better can fetch between $10 and $50, depending on demand and specific grading company. Exceptionally rare error varieties or coins with extremely high grades, such as MS67 or MS68, can reach into the hundreds or low thousands. Now, here comes the exciting part. Could a 1989 D Monticello Jefferson nickel ever be worth $1 million? While it sounds like a wild claim, there are a few very specific scenarios where such a valuation might be possible. Extremely rare error. If a specimen has an extremely rare and major minting error, something undiscovered or documented as unique, this could push the coin's value into the six-figure or $1 million range. Such errors are often one of a kind and are highly coveted by top collectors. Flawless perfection and provenance. If a coin is graded perfect MS70 by a top grading company and has a unique provenance, like belonging to a famous collection or historical significance, the value can skyrocket. However, even then, reaching $1 million is very rare and more hypothetical than typical. Market speculation. Sometimes coins gain astronomical value due to market hype, collector frenzy, or investment speculation. While it's possible, it's important to be cautious of exaggerated claims. In summary, the 1989 D mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is a beautiful and collectible coin with value that varies widely based on condition and rarity. While most examples are worth just a few cents to a few dollars, rare error specimens and top-grade uncirculated coins can command impressive sums. The $1 million valuation remains a very rare possibility and would depend on extraordinary factors. If you think you have a special 1989 D nickel or want to start collecting, consider getting your coins professionally graded and consulting with reputable coin dealers or numismatists. It's a fascinating hobby with plenty of surprises. 1992 D mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. You might have heard rumors or seen videos claiming this coin is worth millions of dollars. So what's the real story behind this nickel, and what is its current market value? Let's break it all down. First off, let's talk about the coin itself. The 1992 D Jefferson nickel features the classic design with Thomas Jefferson on the front, and on the back, the iconic Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. The D mint mark indicates it was minted in Denver. This particular coin is part of the Jefferson nickel series that has been produced since 1938 and remains a staple in American coinage. Now, the big question: is this nickel really worth millions? The short answer: no. There are countless rumors online, social media posts, and even videos claiming that finding a 1992 D nickel could make you a millionaire overnight. However, these stories are largely misleading or outright false. The 1992 D Jefferson nickel is not rare. In fact, millions of these coins were produced, and they are commonly found in circulation. So what affects the value of this coin? Like any collectible coin, condition plays a significant role. A typical circulated 1992 D nickel is worth only its face value, 5 cents. If you happen to have one in pristine condition, such as an uncirculated or proof coin, it could be worth a few dollars to a collector, but nowhere near the $1 million mark. There is a catch, though. Sometimes coins have errors or unique variations that increase their value significantly. For the 1992 D Jefferson nickel, there have been a few reported die cracks or doubling errors, but these are extremely rare and still don't reach anywhere near millions. Instead, these error coins might fetch between $50 to a few $100, depending on severity and collector demand. So why do the rumors persist? Part of it comes from the desire to find something valuable in everyday objects, combined with clickbait videos and misinformation. It's important to remember that while coins can sometimes be worth a lot, the vast majority, including this nickel, are just regular coins with sentimental or historical value. If you're interested in coin collecting or believe you have a valuable coin, the best step is to consult a professional coin dealer or have your coins graded by a reputable service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. They can help you identify whether your coin has any special features or value. To sum it up, the 1992 D Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is a fascinating piece of American coinage, but it is not a ticket to $1 million fortune. Most examples are worth only a few cents to a few dollars depending on condition. Always be cautious of wild claims online, and enjoy collecting for the love of history and the hobby itself. 1996 P Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. You've probably seen claims all over the internet saying this coin could be worth $1 million or more. But is that really true? In this video, we'll explore the history of the coin, what makes it special, and most importantly, its actual current market value. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know whether that old nickel in your pocket is a hidden treasure or just another coin. First, let's start with the basics. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1938, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Monticello home on the reverse. The 1996 nickel is part of this long tradition. The P Mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The Monticello design on the reverse is iconic and instantly recognizable. In 1996, the U.S. Mint produced a large number of these nickels, and there's nothing particularly rare about the coin itself. Unlike some coins from earlier in the 20th century, the 1996 P Mint mark Jefferson nickel was not a low mintage issue. The U.S. Mint struck millions of these coins for circulation. Now, you might have come across videos, forums, or social media posts claiming that the 1996 P Mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is worth $1 million or that it's one of the most valuable coins in the world. These stories often stem from misunderstandings, rumors, or attempts to generate excitement and views. So what's the truth? The 1996 nickel is not rare or unique in any way that would justify such an astronomical value. It is a common date nickel and is still widely available to collectors and the general public. When we talk about coin values, several factors come into play: rarity, demand, condition, historical significance, and sometimes errors or variations. How many coins were made and how many survived? How many collectors want the coin? Is the coin circulated and worn, or is it in pristine mint state? Sometimes a coin with a minting error can be very valuable. The 1996 P Mint mark Jefferson nickel is common, was produced in very high quantities, and does not have any known major mint errors that would elevate its value dramatically. So what is the actual market value of the 1996 P Mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel? For a typical circulated example, its value is basically face value, 5 cents. You can find these nickels everywhere. If you have an uncirculated or proof example, the value might increase slightly, but generally, these coins sell for about 50 cents to a few dollars at most. High-grade certified specimens might go for a bit more among collectors, but definitely not millions. There are no verified sales or auction results indicating that this coin ever sold for anything close to $1 million. Why do these rumors persist? It's a mix of internet hype and misunderstanding of how coin collecting works. Sometimes, hoaxes or exaggerations spread quickly because people want to believe they have a fortune in their pocket. It's important to be careful and always research or consult a coin expert before believing any outrageous claims. If you're interested in coin collecting, the 1996 Jefferson nickel is a good coin to have, but don't expect it to make you rich. Instead, focus on building a well-rounded collection, learn about rare coins, and keep an eye out for authentic errors or key dates that genuinely have value. To wrap up, the 1996 P Mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is a fascinating piece of American coinage history, but it is not worth $1 million. It is a common coin with a value close to its face value unless it is in exceptional condition or has a certified error. 1999 no mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. Some say it's a hidden treasure worth millions. But what's the real story behind this coin? And what is its actual market value today? Let's find out. First, let's set the stage with some background. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938. It features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, on the reverse. Over the years, there have been many varieties and eras that collectors hunt for, including mint mark variations. Now, in 1999, the U.S. Mint produced nickels at multiple facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Usually, coins from Philadelphia do not carry a mint mark, while Denver coins have a D and San Francisco coins an S. However, some collectors noticed something unusual with the 1999 Monticello nickels. A few appeared with no mint mark when, according to official records, they should have had one. This discrepancy led to speculation about a potential no mint mark error nickel. The excitement around this possibility caught fire on social media and various coin forums. Some claimed that these no mint mark nickels from 1999 could be incredibly rare, and therefore extremely valuable, even suggesting that a single coin could be worth $1 million. But before we get carried away with million-dollar dreams, let's break down the facts. First, how do mint marks normally work? Coins struck in Philadelphia traditionally didn't have a mint mark until 1980, but after that, most did carry one. In 1999, Philadelphia nickels generally had no mint mark, while Denver coins had a D. So a 1999 no mint mark nickel is simply a Philadelphia strike, which is quite common. In fact, Philadelphia minted millions of these nickels. What about the supposed no mint mark error on Denver or San Francisco coins? These are incredibly rare or likely don't exist. If a coin from Denver or San Francisco were struck without its mint mark, it would indeed be a striking error, and such an error could be valuable. However, no verified examples of these no mint mark Denver or San Francisco 1999 nickels have been authenticated by major grading services like PCGS or NGC.so. Where does this leave us? The 1999 no mint mark Monticello nickel from Philadelphia is a common coin with a high mintage. It's not rare, and there is no evidence that it commands prices in the millions. In fact, most circulated 1999 Philadelphia nickels are worth their face value or slightly more if in uncirculated condition. However, if you find a genuine era coin or an exceptionally high-grade specimen, it could be worth a few dollars to several $100s to the right collector. But the hype about million-dollar nickels in this category is mostly misinformation or misunderstanding of how mint marks and coin errors work. Now, that said, some nickels from other years or other types of errors can indeed be highly valuable. For example, famous nickels like the 1913 Liberty Head or rare double die errors have sold for thousands, or even millions. But the 1999 no mint mark Monticello nickel is not among those. So, if you happen to have a 1999 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, it's almost certainly a standard Philadelphia coin. It's a cool piece of American coinage history, but it's not the jackpot some might hope for. If you're a collector, always rely on professional grading and authentication before assuming a coin is worth a fortune. Coin collecting is a fascinating hobby, but it requires careful research and verification to avoid costly mistakes. In summary, the 1999 no mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is a neat coin with some collector interest, but it's not worth millions. It's a reminder to always look beyond the hype and get the facts before getting excited about coin values. 2006 P mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. You may have heard some wild claims floating around the internet about this coin being worth $1 million or more, but what's the real story? What is its true current market value? And why do some people think it's so valuable? Stick around because we're going to cover all of that and more. First, a little background for those who might not be familiar. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938. It features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and on the reverse, one of the most iconic images in U.S. coin history, Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. The coin has gone through several design updates over the decades, but Monticello has remained a constant feature on the reverse side. The 2006 nickel is a part of the modern era of the Jefferson nickel series. It was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P Mint mark that appears on the coin. Unlike some coins from earlier years, nickels from 2006 are generally quite common because of the millions produced. So, what makes the 2006 P Mint mark Monticello nickel interesting to collectors or investors? Well, primarily, it's the condition of the coin and any unique errors or varieties that might set certain examples apart. The 2006 nickel was produced in huge quantities, so most circulating coins aren't particularly rare. That said, coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as mint state 65 or higher, can command higher prices in the collector market. There are also some error coins, for example, coins struck off center, double dies, or with die cracks, that can be more valuable. But these are generally quite scarce and not specific to the 2006 P Mint mark coin. Now, onto the million-dollar question, literally. There's a lot of hype on the internet and social media claiming the 2006 P Monticello nickel is worth millions of dollars. This usually stems from misunderstandings, misinterpretations of rare coin values, or outright misinformation. To be clear, a standard 2006 P Monticello Jefferson nickel, even in flawless condition, is nowhere near $1 million in value. Most uncirculated examples sell for just a few dollars, maybe up to a couple $100 if professionally graded and in perfect condition. The coins that do reach thousands are usually rare error coins or unique varieties that are extremely hard to find. The idea that a common, modern nickel from 2006 could be worth millions is simply a myth. So, what's the current market value of the 2006 P Mint mark Monticello nickel? Here's a breakdown. Circulated condition coins are worth face value or a bit more, usually between 5 cents to 50 cents. Uncirculated coins in mint state grades, from MS60 to MS65, might fetch between $1 to $20 depending on condition and demand. Higher grade coins graded MS66 or above can sell for around $20 to $50. Error coins or rare varieties, if authenticated and verified by experts, can reach hundreds or sometimes low thousands of dollars, but these are extremely rare. If you want to hunt for valuable nickels like the 2006 P Monticello coin, keep these tips in mind. Look for coins in exceptional condition, no wear, scratches, or discoloration. Consider getting your coin professionally graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. Be aware of known errors or unusual features that might increase value. Compare recent sales on auction sites and coin dealer platforms to get a realistic idea of market value. To wrap things up, while the 2006 P Mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel is a beautiful piece of American coinage and can be a nice collectible, it's not a secret $1 million treasure waiting to be found in your pocket. If you have one in mint condition, it's definitely worth holding on to, and it could be worth a little more than face value. But for serious coin investors or collectors, the hunt for truly rare nickels usually leads back to older coins or those with verified, unusual minting errors. If you want to start a coin collection, nickels like this are a great place to begin, but always do your research and consult expert sources for accurate valuations.